Hey everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, The Future of SEO, How to Stay Visible in the AI Era. My name is Riley McLaughlin, and I will be your webinar host for today. And I'm also joined by Mike and Katie, but before I pass it off to them, we're going to run through some quick housekeeping. So first up, we are taking questions during the webinar, so if you have a question at any time, go ahead and put that in the chat. I am going to be monitoring the questions while Mike and Katie are presenting. And yes, this webinar is being recorded. So what's going to happen is tomorrow morning, you're going to get an email with a link to the recording and to the slides as well. And I actually have a question for you. Where do you search most often for answers today? I'm going to put a poll up just so we can get a sense for kind of what tools you're using. So if you can just quickly answer that poll. We'll leave that up for just a few more seconds. All right. So it's looking like a tie between traditional search and ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude.
Nice.
All right, let's go to the next slide. Cool. So just a little bit about me. I will be your host for today. I'm also the content manager here at Main Street ROI. So I oversee a lot of our webinars and newsletters and other content like that. I'm also a Google Ads analyst. So I have kind of a varied role here. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Mike.
Hello, yes, I am Mike. I'm going to be one of your presenters today. I am an account success manager at Main Street ROI, but I do have 13 plus years of hands-on SEO experience, and most recently I'm leading a lot of our efforts with regards to AI tools that we're using and testing out, as well as our AI visibility efforts and the bridging of SEO and more of our newer AI searches and GEO. We're also accompanied by Katie today.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. I'm Katie. I'm an account manager here at Main Street RY. I have around 15 years of hands-on organic and paid social media experience, and really kind of lean into how that supports your SEO and AI visibility, and how it goes hand in hand with those services and how important it is as a tandem strategic role in your marketing.
Excellent. So just to go over a little bit of what's on our agenda today with our webinar and the future of SEO. First up, we're going to be talking a bit about what's changing in search and the inclusions of Google AI overviews, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity. We're going to touch on an acronym known as EAT, EEAT, and high quality content strategies. We're going to talk a bit about technical signals such as schema markup and structured data and the role that they play in ensuring that your business is visible online. We're going to talk a bit about content freshness, question-based blogging, and FAQs, and how those can resonate with people and bring more customers or potential people through your front door into your website. We're going to talk about local SEO dominance and the role Google business profiles play, as well as reviews in your online visibility and just how important those are, especially for local businesses. And then we're also going to talk about some off-site signals. Katie's going to take the reins and touch a little bit on social media and how platforms such as Facebook and Instagram really help with brand consistency and can really complement anything that you're doing on site with your website to improve your AI visibility. And finally, we're going to touch on measuring AI visibility and some actionable SEO workflow techniques to improve your business today. So the first thing we want to cover here is the paradigm shift in search. For the longest time, Google, for a decade plus, 2 decades, Google has been the top dog when it comes to online search, right? And it still is to this day. Let's not get, confused. There's still, a majority of people are using Google, but we are seeing this shift. Right? A lot of people are moving more towards dedicated AI search engines, as our poll just showed. ChatGPT for more technical people, right? People who might be on a webinar figuring out how they can become more visible online. A lot of people are really using ChatGPT today, and they're competitors as well, such as Perplexity, Gemini, and Claude. Google search itself has changed a lot as well, right? Google's started to incorporate their own Google AI overviews. A lot of people might be using Google search, and in reality, they're even using a little bit of Gemini and they don't even realize it. But the most important thing to take away is search is not dead. Search behavior is just fragmenting fast. It's no longer just Google. Search is moving to other platforms and other tools as well. Now, changing search and buyer behaviors, right? People for the longest time were only really going to Google and typing in keywords, right? Regardless of what industry you might be searching for, if it's a doctor, if it's a florist, right? If it's a mechanic, maybe searching for an individual service and a near me term, such as, teeth whitening near me, or dental implants near me, or, flowers near me, or some big searches that a lot of people have used over the years, right? And primarily would search those sorts of keywords or phrases within Google search. One of the biggest changes that we're seeing is people are typing in longer search queries at the beginning, right? Especially when they're starting to move to platforms like ChatGPT, they're typing in longer prompts, more questions, and they're also expecting a lot of information back, which is really different from how Google search typically was, right? You type in a keyword and you would just get a whole list of websites, and you'd click into a website that resonated the most with you. Maybe you'd read the description under the website, known as a meta description, see if that page or that business you're about to click into made sense for you. Maybe you clicked into it, you clicked back out to the search results, and you kind of did some research yourself that way. Even nowadays, people are going to traditional Google search and they're typing in longer prompts, and they're interacting with the AI overview at the top, or maybe they're scrolling down a little bit and they're interacting with the people also ask section, where Google has these accordions that open dynamically, and based on questions that you ask will basically bring in more FAQs with additional information. So there's a lot of changes there in how search behavior has changed and what sort of things people are actively querying online. And that has a huge play in really how you need to structure your business online. A zero-click search growth as well. Users are receiving more so synthesized answers, right, within these platforms, whether it be ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Google's own AI overview. And they're getting a lot of answers directly on the platform without actually even having to click into websites. So there's a lot of that going on as well, where maybe you are getting recognized by customers or consumers. They are interacting with your content in some sort of way, but they may not be clicking fully into your website. They may be learning about you. They may even contact you, all without actually going to your website. So AI also does have a role in this. It is speeding up buying research and compressing sales funnels. A lot of people can do top of funnel and mid funnel research right there, within an AI platform. I know myself as well. I might hop into ChatGPT, do a little bit of research, and within about 20 minutes, I feel confident about something that I want to purchase, or services that I want to inquire about with the business. So it's definitely changed a lot. SEO is still worth it with an evolution. So one truth is people will always search for solutions online. Another truth is that SEO rules continuously evolve through algorithm shifts. Just because AI search is a new component does not mean that Google search has been stagnant for the last 20 years. Google has continuously come out with new algorithm updates as they have tried to shift and ensure that their platform resonates and becomes more and more helpful with end users. The core fundamentals of search visibility still apply, though. One of the biggest things here is that over the years with Google's algorithm updates, they have moved the entire industry in a certain direction. And a lot of AI platforms really have rode on Google's coattails. When ChatGPT first came onto the scene, a lot of the things that they cared about to present the business were identical really in many ways to what Google was already cared about. So the rules really, or some of those core fundamental rules didn't really change all that much, right? It's still important to have content on your website that resonates with people. End goal, right? The focus on core fundamentals while adapting tactics for AI discovery is really what you want to do. Continue doing what has been important. We're going to cover some of those things. You don't want to do anything to jeopardize your visibility in Google search if still a majority of people are using that platform. But as we start to discover new sort of tactics or factors that are important to present your business within a platform like ChatGPT, you want to capitalize and incorporate those as well. So we're going to cover all of these sorts of things that are very important for AI platforms and things that are still run, in tandem with what Google has historically cared about as well. So we have at Main Street ROI always talked about the 4 Rs. If you've joined any of our webinars in the past, about SEO, we have absolutely discussed the 4 Rs. And those 4 Rs are research, relevance, reputation, and results. Research entails mapping customer intent across search queries and AI prompts. Do the research to identify what your end users are searching for online. Meet customers where they are. Relevance includes structuring your website content for both human searchers and AI crawlers. And it's about making your website content more relevant to what those people are searching online. So you identify what people are searching and you make your website more relevant so it resonates with what those end users are searching. Reputation. Reputation is about building authority through backlinks, brand mentions, and customer reviews. It's very important to make sure that your website resonates with end users. It's very important to make sure that your website conveys who you are, what services or products you provide, but it's also unbelievably important that others talk positively about you as well. I know it's a real pain. We talk to clients about this all the time, about going out there and asking for reviews, but it is unbelievably important. There is an authenticity to somebody else talking about you rather than you just talking about yourself. And that's why reputation comes in mind, because people view that as authentic, right? What is somebody saying about you carries a lot of weight when it comes to online visibility. And then results as well, measuring overall brand visibility, impressions, and conversions across channels to measure these results, right? How visible is your business? How many eyeballs are and how many people are actually looking at your website, going to your website? How many people are engaging once they're on your website? Are they filling out forms? Are they calling? Are they requesting appointments? Are they purchasing products or services from you? Those are the 4 Rs. Now, the 4 Rs have evolved a little bit for 2026. So research now also includes prompts that are conversational, focusing on full customer questions over just static keyword lists, right? Previously, research entailed what keywords are people searching for? Let's make sure they get on the website. Now research includes what sort of conversations are people having online? What sort of questions might they be asking online? And making sure that you have relevant content on your website that resonates with people having those conversations and searching those questions. Relevance includes all of the things that were important previously for on-page SEO, but other factors such as FAQs and structured data are non-negotiable, right? Previously, it was nice to have some FAQs on your website. You have some content that has some keywords. But nowadays, since people are searching questions so much more than they ever have, and those longer tail questions, it's important that you also have those questions and answers to those questions on your website. Structured data, which we'll talk about a little bit later as well, goes in tandem with FAQs as well as front stage content. Structured data is essentially code that allows your website to raise its hand and tell Google, tell ChatGPT and Perplexity and Claude, hey, people are asking questions online. We've got questions and we've got answers to those questions on our website. And you're doing it clear as day in the code, places that those sorts of platforms, can digest and read themselves. Reputation has changed a bit as well. Unlinked brand mentions in active social channels now carry weight alongside backlinks. Previously, with your reputation, it was important to have some reviews, say, on your Google business profile or other medical review platforms. It was important for you to have a profile. It was important for you to exist in all of these directories and links, and they still are important. Because remember, we don't want to disregard Google. We don't want to disturb anything that could, ruin your Google search visibility. And Google does still care about backlinks. However, AI platforms, not so much, right? As long as you're mentioned somewhere online, AI platforms can find that. So whether that's, just being mentioned in a Facebook post or a comment section in a Facebook post or online in Reddit, for example, even without a link pointing back to your website, if there's something online positively speaking about you or even negatively, AI platforms are going to be able to pull that, right? They have a much larger reach in terms of what they're looking for online. And then results have changed a little bit as well, right? If people are, maybe learning about you and possibly could even engage with you without even going to your website, it's important to also look at some additional metrics beyond, say, just Google Analytics. And that's really where I like to look at Search Console, and Search Console becomes more important as well. There's some other tools that we'll be able to showcase a little bit later that allow you to track and monitor your brand mentions, or what is also known as share of voice, and how often you're getting mentioned within AI platforms, so that you can track your visibility even without having necessarily website clicks. How often are you getting mentioned online? How often is an AI platform recommending you? Those are the sorts of things that you need to monitor and the results that you want to be looking for. Previously, I mentioned that we were going to touch on an acronym known as EAT, E-E-A-T. This is probably one of the most, if not the most important acronym right now in organic digital marketing. EAT stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. If you incorporate each of these individual items with your on-site content, you're going to build AI-proofed content, right? It's really important that all of the content on your website resonates and hits on each of these individual factors. AI platforms value this acronym almost more than anything. What is the real-world experience people are having with your business? What sort of expertise do you have? Are you an industry authority? And are you perceived as being trustworthy? So experience, one of the ways to really hit this or hammer this home on your website is providing real world proof, case studies, photos, and firsthand insights. That conveys people's experience of working with you. In terms of expertise, you need to display clear author bios online, your credentials, and original subject matter research, right? Anything that conveys your own expertise, how long you've been in your industry, talking about yourself and maybe your education sort of, associations you might be in. All of those things are important to make sure are clear as day on your website. And one of the biggest things that we do for our clients is really put together killer biographic pages as well. In terms of authoritativeness, you need to earn industry citations, maybe things like news mentions online, podcast appearances, maybe a publication, a news journal writes about you, even an association's journal. All of these sorts of things appearing beyond your website, but on other digital platforms, speaking about specific subject matters pertaining to your industry, thought leadership sort of content is unbelievably important. That's really going to position you as an authoritative source within the industry, not just that you appear on your website, but you appear elsewhere, right? And then trustworthiness. You need to maintain transparent business details, your physical address, secure site technicals. You really want to be perceived as, you're not just trying to sell people something. You're not just here to try to get more customers. You're genuinely trying to output, helpful information and just genuinely will help people. And why AI cares about this is because AI models do prioritize verified sources to minimize any sort of false answers and hallucinations. So ensuring that you're consistent across both your website as well as offsite really ensures that you control the messaging and that the right information about you gets pulled within any sort of AI search results. Another thing I want to touch on is content strategy, questions, freshness, and blogging. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of question-based searches happening online now more than ever. So it's really important to target those questions that people are searching, just like back in the day and still even relevant today, like I mentioned, is keywords, right? People type in keywords, you want to have those keywords positioned properly on your website. Well, the same thing happens with questions. People are searching questions online, you want to make sure those questions exist on your website, and you want to make sure that the answers to those questions exist on your website. But let's say you're in ChatGPT right now and you ask a question. And maybe ChatGPT pulls in a quick little answer. They were able to extrapolate an answer from a website, particularly from an FAQ section. And then you want to follow up. You have more questions about that subject matter. This is where blogging really comes in. Blogging allows your website to dive deeper into a particular question or subject matter and create more thoughtful content wherein an end user is interested in diving deeper into a specific subject or a question. So by incorporating a blend of FAQs and blogs on your site, you're both giving AI platforms and customers or consumers short answers to questions they have, as well as longer, more in-depth answers to questions they may have. So when people are doing these based searches online, your website is a reputable resource that AI platforms can lean on, both to get a quick answer and a longer answer. It's a give and take relationship. If you create enough of a repository of good, helpful, educational information on your website, AI platforms are going to favor you because they're able to lean on you to present that information to end users and make themselves seem more helpful. In return, they're going to promote your business. Content freshness is very important as well. Regularly updating your website with content, particularly with blogging, is very, very, very important. Blog articles can quickly become outdated in certain industries as well. Maybe statistics change or strategies change, just simply technology changes. So if you're in an industry where those sorts of things can happen, it's very important to ensure that you're writing about the newest, most modern, and most relevant thing. It's also really important, just even if you're in an industry that doesn't change all that often, to type and write about, important questions people are asking on a regular basis so that you can show AI platforms as well as consumers and potential customers that you're constantly putting out helpful educational information out there on a regular basis, and that you're consistent and that you're consistently somebody that can be leaned on. That's very important, obviously, for AI platforms because they want to be able to lean on websites. And if they see you posted a blog article 7 months ago, you haven't posted one since, they're going to overlook your site. You're no longer providing enough relevant information online for them to essentially lean on. They do favor websites that are putting out more fresh content. You don't want to double up on content too much. So one of the things that we say is, it's good to space things out by a week. Maybe publishing, say, like a blog article on a weekly basis is a nice idea. It allows you to publish one article, let that get some traction, spread its wings, get its own attention before, publishing another one. But you definitely don't want to wait too long either. We have clients of ours that we've worked with that before they start working with us, they haven't published a blog article since January, right? It's been 7-8 months. That's just not consistent enough either. You're not being perceived as being helpful enough in an AI platform's eyes either. But depth over AI fluff is really important, focusing on expert human commentary that AI scrapers cannot auto-generate. We're going to talk in a little bit how you can utilize AI to speed up some content workflows, but it is definitely very important to add a human element to any sort of content you're putting out there, something that's unique to you that can stress your authoritativeness and the expertise that you have within your industry, so that you're not also just putting out content that exists elsewhere as well. You need to differentiate yourself and bring something new and helpful to the table. So content strategy, and particularly content freshness, is unbelievably important towards ensuring your online visibility. Frequently asked questions. The strategic value of FAQs is pretty simple, right? They're bite-sized answers, typically 100 to 200 words that can answer questions people are having. We highly recommend including FAQs on multiple pages of your website. If you're a business that offers services, have FAQs on each of your services pages that speak to that specific service. Also having a repository of maybe a top 20 FAQs is a great idea. We also like to include FAQs within our blog article content. But those simple question and answer formatting helps AI models extract precise content. Bite-sized stuff allows them to grab it easily from your website and quickly pull that into for an end user. On-page implementation is very important as well. So adding structured FAQ sections to services and landing pages and major blog articles allow people to get brought into those specific areas, maybe from a question-based search. You have an FAQ on, let's say you're a dentist and you have a good dental implants page with dental implant FAQs. Somebody types a dental implant question online. They get brought to your website. Next thing they know, they're on your dental implants page learning about your service with calls to action all over the place. And they're learning about, whatever question they may have had. And now they have the opportunity to learn particularly about your business and then obviously contact you. Natural language alignment is also very important too. Matching questions word for word with real conversational voice and chat prompts. So when you see somebody online is searching a question, a lot of people try to get creative and they might reword it a little bit and put put it word for word on your website. Don't make this any harder. Just it's very simple, right? You want to have the exact thing that somebody's searching online. So when Gemini or ChatGPT, Google, somebody types a question in one of their platforms, they can very easily see, oh, your website has the answer to it, and the question's right there, clear as day, and they'll search it and find it very quickly. In terms of some technical signals as well, I had mentioned earlier something called schema markup or structured data. They can be mostly used interchangeably. A schema or structured data is code that's added to your website and clearly explains content context to search engines. So it explains essentially what's happening on the front end. Of course, AI platforms and Google are able to crawl the front end of your website, but they also like to look at the back end where consumers typically don't end up. Having structured data or code in the back end that also clear as day conveys to Google and AI platforms what's happening on the front end allows them to find things on your website a lot easier. So for example, there's certain things such as local business schema. This conveys your name, your address, your phone number, and your hours so that AI platforms have no problem finding your contact information. Article and FAQ page schema, putting that in the back end of a page that has FAQs or a blog article, ensures that Google's and AI platforms are able to find that you have relevant blog articles easily on your website. So an AI platform will search your structured data code, see that you mentioned in your code, hey, I have a blog article about X, Y, and Z. They'll find it a lot easier than crawling the front end of your website. Product and service schema works the same way. It simply conveys to AI platforms and Google what services or what products you provide. And you typically would want to marry those on product and services pages in the back end. It eliminates any ambiguity when AI crawlers analyze your domain. It allows them to easily find these things. AI platforms are able to search the front end. They can see the content, the same content that end users can see. They can see your sitemap. They can see the URLs on your website, and they can see the back end code. It's really, really important that all of these areas are buttoned up properly. Leave no stone left unturned. With Google, for years, we've historically understood that Google will monitor, look at web page copy, some technical signals, but they want to see the keywords on the website. With AI platforms, they can search anywhere. If you were to go to ChatGPT and do a search right now, I cannot confidently tell you what method it used to search and pull in its results. It might have looked straight at the website. It may have gone to social media first. It might have looked at the back end of the site. The fact that they can look anywhere is what makes this so important, and that you want everything to be buttoned up and consistent, especially the back end code. Now, there are some factors that I mentioned that are essentially the same between Google search historically with your SEO and AI platforms. Just simply things are mostly weighted differently. So we're just going to go through a couple of these, and I'm going to mention what's most important for Google and what's important for AI platforms. So exact keyword placement is very important for Google, right? That's how SEO has historically worked for a long time, and it is still the way that SEO works. Exact keyword placement is not as important for AI platforms. It's got a little bit lower impact. Talking more so semantically about a subject matter, not using the exact keywords word for word, is okay. AI platforms can understand a little bit more of the complexity around this, and if you're talking about a given subject matter but not using word for word the highest volume keyword, it's not going to impact your visibility there, right? However, with Google, you do want to have, with traditional Google search, you do want to have the most valuable, highest volume keywords placed within your content. Having the most highest volume keywords placed within your content isn't going to negatively impact your AI. It's just not as important. If you want to rank and be visible on both platforms, you really want to obviously go for the most high impact keywords, those two, so you don't hurt your Google search visibility. But there are some differences there in terms of how AI platforms monitor or digest specific keyword usage. Topic content depth is critical across both. Both Google and AI platforms want to be reassured that you know what you're talking about, that you're putting forth helpful educational information that is not just scratching on a subject matter at a surface level. They want to really know that you're able to dive deeper into content and that you're a worthwhile business to promote because you're an authoritative figure within your space. So topical content depth is important for both Google and AI platforms. Structured data and FAQ formatting is recommended for Google, especially with Google's AI overviews now and the fact that they have their people also ask sections. Those are very important. Schema and FAQ formatting, it is recommended, but they are super duper important when it comes to AI platforms. Those are very, very high impact to get AI citations. So ensuring that you have frequently asked questions formatted in maybe about 100 to 200 words is the perfect sort of setup for an AI platform. Those are bite-sized chunks that they're able to extrapolate and pull into their search results. Backlinks have been a major metric for Google for a long time. The way that Google views backlinks is the more backlinks you have from reputable websites, then that must mean that you have a high reputation as well and that you're a reputable business. If other businesses want to associate themselves with you through some sort of backlinking relationship where they mention your website or your business on their own website and they link to your own, the more of that you have going on, Google views you as being reputable. Why would all these other websites, highly reputable websites, want to mention you or even associate themselves with you? That has less of an impact when it comes to AI platforms. Because remember, AI platforms can also monitor unlinked brand mentions. So being mentioned on a website, even without a link pointing back to your website, can have a significant impact with AI platforms. They put less stock in the fact that another business is actually linking to your website, so long as they're speaking about your business. That's really the main difference there, where unlinked brand mentions have a lower or moderate impact in Google search results. Google is putting more of an emphasis on the fact that they're actually linking to you rather than simply talking about you. Reviews and ratings are unbelievably critical for local businesses in Google search. They have less of a play for national businesses. And that has historically been the reason because of Google business profiles. Google business profiles, for the most part, are aligned with local businesses. Your local business would have a Google business profile. National businesses tend not to, or they're just simply not, they don't operate the same way. Google business profiles are primarily meant for people to interact and communicate and engage more easily with local businesses. And because Google has, its relationship with their Google business profiles and how it's the same under the same umbrella, Google puts a lot of stock in reviews and ratings, particularly from Google business profiles. They will promote businesses that have a larger number of reviews and high quality reviews. AI platforms, it's also a high impact, but across all search. It's not this weird relationship where ChatGPT only cares about one specific website. If you get positively, mentioned in a review or in a post on Facebook, it has just as much importance as somebody writing about it on Google, business, or writing about you on Twitter or X or Reddit particularly is very important as well. All of these platforms, it's important for if you get reviews and ratings across the board, it's important from an AI search perspective. The next thing too is active social media. Active social media is very important from a Google search perspective. It's an indirect signal, but being mentioned on social media can pull into the search results. However, from an AI platform, they will use that to shape an entire understanding around your business. So if somebody mentions you on a Facebook post and talks about how they've worked with you and the results that they've had or the experience that they've had, that is going to become part of the overall AI messaging for you. From a Google search perspective, social media is able to pull into the results. If you have a strong Facebook profile, it can pull into the results alongside your website, which is really nice. But the thing is it's not going to necessarily pull in the messaging that those platforms have about you. AI platforms will pull in what people are actually actively talking about.
Hey, Michael, this is Katie. I think we lost your screen, friend.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Let me get that fixed real fast. Oh, thank you for calling that out. Oh, sorry about that, everyone. Hopefully you can see this again.
Yeah, we can see.
Excellent. All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Katie. All right. The next thing I want to talk about too is that local SEO with Google Business Profile Optimization. So it is still very important, especially because of Gemini particularly and Google AI overviews. Anything Google related is going to be important for a Google ecosystem. So from a local SEO, you definitely want to have a complete Google Business Profile. You want to fill in all of your business descriptions, your primary, your secondary categories, and your service areas. You want to have consistent name, address, and phone number that's identical across all of your directories online, and particularly your website. If your website has a specific name, address, and phone number, you want that to be word for word the same on your Google business profile. You also want to have ongoing activity as well. You want to post updates to it regularly. You want to have good photos there. If you can offer, put on offers on a weekly basis to active, reliable, show that you're an active and reliable entity, whether that's a promotion for a specific service or a product you might have that week. And you also by optimizing your profile, it ensures that you appear properly for any sort of near me related queries. So if somebody goes to Gemini particularly, or Google search and interacts with the Google AI overview, because those are Google properties, Google tends to prioritize the Google business profile. So if you were to say somebody goes to Gemini and is searching or talking about services for businesses near them, Gemini is going to lean on the Google business profile. Now, I understand that in terms of individual AI platforms, ChatGPT has become the Kleenex of AI platforms. It is the most well-known of the household, names of AI platforms. The thing is a lot of people are using Gemini without realizing it, because they're still going to Google search and the AI overview pulls in, and then they continue to have a conversation with the AI overview. I see it among my own friends and family as well, where they might do a Google search, they click into the AI overview, next thing you know, they are in a chat environment when they didn't even realize they were going to be in one in the first place, and now they're having a conversation with Google. Well, anytime they're looking for a service within a Google environment, Google's going to favor pulling in information from their own ecosystem, such as the Google business profile. So obviously, all of what I'm saying here is very important for SEO, but it is important also for Google Gemini and Google's AI overview. So you want to make sure that your Google business profile is still very buttoned up. You really want to make sure that all of your online profiles are very buttoned up and consistent. But the Google business profile is still, in my opinion, the most important of the online citations and online sort of business directories and listings. So review generation is a core reputation signal. So again, this conveys the authenticity and the trust that people have in your business. So review count, recent positive reviews, ratings directly drive local pack rankings online. AI sentiment is very important too when it comes to Google reviews, or I should say all online reviews. AI engines evaluate review text sentiment when recommending local providers. So if somebody even leaves a positive review and they seem absolutely ecstatic, that's going more than somebody maybe a little more even keel. That's even going to help out a little bit more as well. Building an automated post-service sort of email or an SMS to collect reviews consistently would be one of our recommendations. If you're a business that has a front desk, when somebody's checking out or they're going to make another appointment, and ask them, hey, did you have a great experience today? And when they're sitting there smiling and they're about to walk out, don't let them leave without asking for a Google business review, or a review on any platform for that matter. I know it can sometimes be challenging or difficult or embarrassing to have to ask for a review, but your clients and customers often ask a lot about you. You usually don't ask a lot out of them. If you can muster up the courage to ask for a review, it's really going to help you in the long run, especially if they're right there and they're happy. You might be shy. I tell this to my father all the time, who's a chiropractor. Don't be shy. Just ask them. 9 times out of 10, they'd be more than happy to leave you a positive review. Now, but using some sort of post-service email or SMS request can also help with this, and you're not also personally asking for the review. You're having some sort of automated system help you with it. So especially if anybody's doing some automated appointment setting or purchasing online, just having some sort of email blast or an SMS go out a little bit after asking for a review is a painless way to do it as well. So Kate, I'm going to turn this slide over to Katie, our social media expert here, and she's going to talk a little bit about some of the offsite signals pertaining to Facebook and Instagram and how those can work in tandem with all of the things that I've talked about so far.
Thanks, Michael. As Michael said earlier, social media really does complement SEO and AI visibility. And it's more important than ever to start looking at our online presence as less siloed and more of something that goes together holistically. And that really is leaning into that EAT, that expertise, experience, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. AI is crawling the whole web. AI search models are analyzing that broader digital footprint and evaluating your active social channels to really establish your brand content. What are people saying about you? Real people generated from your communities, especially for local businesses. This is definitely an impact on national business as well. But those local businesses looking to draw people into their physical brick and mortar locations, what are people saying? That AI crawling the whole web is really the expertise and authoritativeness, right? It's showing who you are, how people are experiencing your business real time from real users. And again, AI models are pulling this in at a rapid rate. They want to see what's really happening to answer those questions from an authentic place. Now, social proof and verification, this is probably one of the strongest things that social can do for you, is really leaning into that experience of your business. It's social proofing you. The active profile is providing real-time operational signals, user sentiment, validation, and they're using that. AI is using that to measure your brand's authority online, that you're real, you're engaged, you know what you're talking about, you have that expert voice, and they know that you know what you're talking about. And social media used to be a place where it was, silly dances and funny memes. It's really evolved in that kind of business space of being such an important tandem tool to have both the focus on your SEO and what's going on your website and going on the back end of your website, to this really is a tandem service that can't be ignored anymore as those cross-channel consistencies become more important. As AI begins to scrape, and it has begun to scrape, not begins, it is doing this actively. Not only does social media pull up in the Google search, you get those little blue social recommendations when people search things like, dentists near me, you're going to pull into those searches naturally because you're using those keywords. But those AI overviews are scraping your social channels more than ever. So having that cross-channel consistency, using the same brand data, your services being talked about, having your messaging really aligned with the content you're creating. Like Michael had mentioned, blogs and reviews are super important. Share those reviews online. That's a way to naturally farm for reviews as well. I know Michael had mentioned things like using an SMS and an email follow-up. Showing those reviews, posting a good Google review you got is a perfectly valid post on social. It shows that experience in another spot and shows other people, hey, this is what people are experiencing here, and may encourage a whole comment section of people who also had that experience. Engage with those comments. Back and forth conversation is a huge way to verification of that social proof that you're real and you care.
That was excellently said, Katie. Yeah, especially that last point too of, sharing a social media post online about a positive review you've received, and then starting a comment thread of other people chiming in saying they've equally had a wonderful experience with you. Those are now reviews essentially in a comment section that can still get pulled into an AI platform. Because
Yes.
AI platforms can crawl anything, you've just essentially created a little environment within that post of additional positive reviews. And social media is just unbelievably important for that exact reason. With AI, we don't know, where AI necessarily gets its answer from every single time it does its search. We know it can pull in from everywhere. You want to have this consistency across the board. Katie, thank you so much. That was very well said.
Absolutely. And Robin, I do see your question in here. It is valuable to have key terms in your social media captions. I would say don't stuff them in there. I would find natural ways to include them in what you're saying. And that's kind of where the strategic intent happens, right? It's understanding that Facebook isn't always reactionary. It should feel really authentic, but having strategy tied back that really interlinks with what your goals are on an SEO and AI visibility, knowing and understanding that having those key terms included in your Facebook. If you have a blog, for example, about teeth whitening, you may want to include for the next quarter of content content about before and after pictures, where you have those same keywords tied into your Facebook and Instagram keywords. I wouldn't say like list a whole bunch of keywords. Gone are the days of having like 30 hashtags where that makes a difference. I would say make sure what you're saying is relevant to the post, but having intent is very important. I would still keep that intent and cohesiveness with what your goals are overall to support your SEO and AI visibility goals.
One of the things that I like to think of, and this isn't just for social media posts, but this goes for content as well, is you do want to have good keyword usage, right? But you, like Katie said, you don't want to keyword stuff in any way. So one of the best things to do is to, if you do it yourself or you work with somebody that does it for you, is, you know, create a list of what your overall keywords are that you know are most important to your business, and really thoroughly understand them and really memorize them, right? So when you are putting together these posts and you're speaking naturally, you're writing your, you know, as you normally would, you're generating them just like you normally would, it's more top of mind to just naturally incorporate a keyword just within the flow. So it's still, you're just writing authentically, but you just happen to also be including a high volume search term.
And that ends up really leaning into that consistency, that cross-channel consistency, and showing how strong social can be in your overall strategy. Thanks for letting me pipe in, Michael.
Of course. No, thank you so much, Katie. Really appreciate it. Now, this also continues with what Katie was saying here too, right, is building that cohesive omni-channel identity. So whether it's your website, your Google business profile, your social media directories, everything needs to be unified. Because AI platforms can find your information everywhere, you want to make sure you have that consistent messaging. Inconsistent messaging can confuse AI platforms. If you have outdated information, anything, imagine you have a profile out there that exists that mentions the, you know, wrong team members or wrong address or wrong phone number or services or a product you no longer provide or sell. Well, if those exist out there and they contradict maybe your website or another profile or platform that you have, this is going to screw up, you know, AI platforms and large language models. They're not going to be able to pull in a consistent messaging. They may inadvertently present the wrong information. They may mention you're located at the wrong place. They may mention you provide services that you don't, or may not mention services that you do provide. So it's really important just to make sure across the board everything is buttoned up. You want to establish business entity schema and NAP consistency. You want to earn continuous reviews and citations, and you want to publish structured questions and answered content and maintain active social media channels to ensure all of this is buttoned up and that you're just moving forward as one large entity across all of these different platforms. In terms of how to measure some AI search visibility and your success here, you could do manual prompting by testing conversational questions in ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Perplexity that you would want to appear for. Really simple. You sit down at ChatGPT, you type in some searches that you think your customers would search and see whether or not you're recommended. If you're not, improve your website content to resonate more with what those searches would be that you're testing out. A search console is also another great tool. You can monitor total impressions trends for conversational long tail queries. It's particularly helpful for, say, Google AI overviews as well. You know, noticing whether or not you're starting to appear more visible online or get in front of eyeballs when people are doing certain questions. Searching certain questions online. Impressions, for people unaware, are essentially how often you've been visible within search results. Not necessarily someone clicking into your website, but how often you've appeared on someone's screen. It shows the potential that somebody was able to see you. There's also AI visibility tracking tools that exist online. Otterly AI is one of them. Brand Maven AI is one of them. We actually work closely with them as well, and I really like that tool. Rank Scale AI, SEMrush has AI search tracking, Peak AI as well, and many others that are coming out also will help you monitor your share of voice online, how often your brand is getting mentioned for certain queries. You can often set these tools up to monitor specific phrases or queries or questions that are important to you. And on a monthly basis, the tool will let you know how often you've appeared maybe within ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or Perplexity for those specific queries. We've also organized a practical checklist for modern success here with SEO and AI visibility. Implementing FAQ page and local business schema on the website. publishing weekly question and answer blog content directly targeting active customer queries, updated fresh historical top performing site content. So making sure that you're not just creating a service page on your site and it's the same way for 3 or 4 years, right? Updating your website with fresh content to make sure that AI platforms constantly see that you're staying active and you're not just, leaving your website in a set and forget sort of state. Fully optimizing your Google business profile and setting up some sort of review collection workflow, and posting weekly on Facebook and Instagram to reinforce your branded entity signals. In terms of ways to leverage AI tools for your SEO as well is topic ideation. So creating blog outlines, FAQ ideas, content cluster maps, drafting meta tags to improve your, say, title tags and meta descriptions as well can speed up the workflow. Go to ChatGPT or a platform and just ask it, say, hey, listen, I need to write out some some blog article topics, or I need to prepare some optimized meta descriptions. Give it the keywords you want to optimize for. I'm going to be honest, they're probably not going to be the best if you're just going straight to ChatGPT to create these things, but it's better than nothing. It's a lot better than what people and consumers not within the marketing space were able to do previously by themselves. If you're able to work with an agency that can do a lot more thorough research, then they're probably going to hit a little bit better, but consumers are in a much better place than they ever have been in the past, where you are able to sit down at some sort of tool and get some of this done on your own. Content audits as well, asking AI to analyze your website, get some thoughts about how it perceives your content. Well, that's like asking the platform you want to appear in, what do you think of my website is a huge leg up, right? What it will tell you back will give you recommendations to improve your site better within its own platform. And then the critical rule, always review, fact check, and inject original expert human insights to maintain E. If you do use AI platforms to do any of these things, do not just take them from the AI platform and paste them on your website. Read them thoroughly, edit them as a human, and add your own human expertise and experience. Human content does really well online. AI content does not perform as well online. The blending of the two perform spectacularly. Using AI to speed up your workflow, but including your own human element, is what's really going to push you over the hump, and honestly stand out from a lot of other platforms that are just putting out AI slop these days. Adding that human element will go a long way. Just some future predictions, organic traffic trends. Organic web clicks may plateau, but total brand impressions and visibility now matters more than just simple website clicks. Shifting to mentions, unlinked brand mentions will continue to gain importance compared to, relative to traditional links online. As we mentioned, just getting mentioned in any capacity online, hopefully in a favorable way, is going to be a strategy moving forward that will improve your online visibility more than it ever has. And then local business, resilience. Local businesses remaining highly insulated through map-based local intent. Local businesses will always have a small little niche, right, with map platforms and the local signals that differentiate them from more national businesses, right? The Google business profile is not going away anywhere. That's still going to be very important. Map-based searches as well. Just some ways that we're able to help. We do provide full service SEO management, where we do custom strategies covering anything technical, content creation, reviews, and brand authority. We can create content, we can optimize technical features of your website, and we will do the implementation. In terms of AI search optimization as well, we have, we'll adapt any current strategies for AI overviews and dedicated AI search engines. We don't just care about Google search anymore. Our SEO services encompass everything. We will work monthly for you to improve your AI visibility and your Google search visibility and organic search visibility. We also provide consulting and strategy as well, expert guidance to navigate this rapidly changing landscape, connecting and working with your internal team perhaps to give our own strategy and insights to make sure that your business is putting its best foot forward. We also want to offer a free complimentary AI visibility assessment. We've created our own AI visibility assessment tool and we would love to sit down with you, see where your business is currently placed online, what its visibility looks like, and how you can improve things. So you'll get a custom evaluation of your website's readiness and visibility for ChatGPT, Gemini, and other AI platforms. We'll hop on a call with you on a one-on-one call to review our findings and map out some actionable next steps that you can take to improve your specific website and your business's online visibility. If you are interested in claiming your complimentary AI visibility analysis or assessment, all you have to do is email AI@mainstreetroi.com to request your free assessment, and we'll schedule a review call with you as well. If you happen to be an agency on today's call, we also work in tandem, very much so, with other digital marketing agencies. We're able to provide white labeled SEO services as well as other services, or just work collaboratively on projects with clients as well, right in the open. If you're interested in partnering with us as an agency to agency in any capacity, please contact us. All you have to do is chat partnership in the webinar chat, or you can email Caitlin@mainstreetroi.com, and she'll be in contact with you and walk through our partnership program and partnership process. So just some question and answer session here. If you have any questions, or if you've entered any questions throughout the webinar, we'd love to answer some of those. Just as a reminder, please don't forget to claim your free AI visibility assessment, or if you'd like to contact us, you can contact us at mainstreetroi.com/contact. So Riley, do we have any questions?
Yeah, so it looks like we got a question from Kim. Have you ever done an SEO scan for an author website?
Yes, actually. Yes, absolutely. If you're interested in one of our analyses, we'd be more than happy to do it with you, and sit down. One of the partners that I work closely with does work with authors, and we've been able to work with them for many years. So more than happy to take a look at it with you. It would not be out of the norm for us.
Awesome. And then I know we only have a couple minutes left. It looks like we had a question about having AI write your content.
Yes. Is there a particular question to that, or should you use AI?
Should you? Yeah.
Yes, you absolutely can use AI to draft your content. It's important to not just go to AI and ask it to write a piece of content. It's better to give it the information, right? Tell it, hey, I want you to draft this piece of content. Give it some sources to look at. Tell it the specific keywords you want to be included and the goal you'd be trying to accomplish with that piece of content. Then once it's done, you're going to want to manually edit it, interject and add your own human element to it, touch it up a little bit, change some stuff, make sure it's in your tone, or give your own real world experience as well. Marrying the two, AI content plus your own real world experience and expertise in it, will perform very well.
Awesome. Well, I think we're at time. So if we did not get to your question, we will follow up via email and make sure that your questions get answered. Tomorrow morning, expect an email with a link to this recording and the slides. And also tomorrow, if you just realize that you have a question you didn't think of during the presentation, you can just reply to that email, and we'll connect and get that answered for you. So with that, I want to thank Mike and Katie for an awesome presentation, and thanks everyone for joining.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing some more of your questions, and hopefully some of you guys, claim your free AI visibility assessment. I'd be more than happy to hop on a call and take a look at your own business with you and ways that you guys can improve your online visibility. But yes, thank you so much for your time today. Hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for your time.
All right, thanks everyone. See you on the next one.
Bye.